Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Dungeon Master here, and welcome back to another video. I know I've been gone for a while. I've got another video in the works. I got another video cooking. I got some ideas cooking. But today I want to talk about something entirely different. Because today we're going to be talking about paid mods and how they're back in Starfield, apparently. So yeah.
So not too long ago, I talked about the introduction of paid mods into Starfield, which, as you might expect, was not particularly well received. And
No, apologies. So paid mods are effectively taking DLC, and letting rather than the developer releasing the DLC as one whole complete thing, they're just taking everything that they would have put in the DLC, and they're packaging up everything individually and selling it all for like $5-10 each. It's really fucking bad. It's really terrible, and I don't understand how people don't see this and why people are buying this shit. We saw this with the Creative Club in Fallout 4, and now we're seeing it again.
in fact, this was never well received. We've been through this with Skyrim. We went through this with Fallout. Both times, fans were not happy about this idea of essentially taking the whole modding ecosystem and turning it into a business venture, especially because of the price points that these items are being sold at. And with Starfield, with some of the stuff that they're selling with this whole paid mods ecosystem, you're like, why is this much money? And also, why are we trying to normalize the notion of locking, quests behind $7?
Just talking on this for a moment. For the thing that people have to remember is that these are businesses at the end of the day, and they have to make money for their shareholders. Otherwise, their shareholders pull their shares. And if the shareholders pull their shares, their stock price plummets, and just bad things all around. And eventually, if that happens, the company will go under if shareholders begin pulling. Now, why are they deciding to put everything that would be in a DLC into little tiny bite-sized pieces? The reason why they're putting everything into little tiny bite-sized pieces is because in the end, it's easier to do. They can pump it out a lot faster, and it makes them more money because people will buy it. So yeah, that's why they're doing it.
This is a trailer for Starfield Shattered Space. The DLC and its content could be really cool, but at the end, you can see right here that they talk about content from Bethesda Game Studios and community creators.
By the way, I can't believe that Starfield actually even got DLC. That's actually crazy to me. I didn't think that it actually sold all that well. In fact, let me go and look up how much or how many copies it sold. Alright, well, I guess I'm an idiot because apparently it sold quite well. 2.5 million copies, $60 each, it's $150 million. So, it had over 10 million players at launch. So that's more than 2.5 million copies sold. Definitely more than 2.5. So, yeah. Although, I mean, only 13,000 players still playing, so we'll see how well this DLC sells. I guess.
And they have some mods here that they introduce and talk about, and you can see more.
By the way, I'm not surprised that this is actually happening. The creation, especially with like the whole Creation Club bullshit that they've got going on. They're going to be putting the Creation Club into every single one of their games going forward. 100%. If they've put it into 2 games now, I bet you their very next game, Elder Scrolls 6 or whatever the fuck they're going to release next, is going to be launched with the Creation Club, and the Creation Club is already going to have things in it. I guarantee it. The Creation Club, actually, when you think about it, the Creation Club reminds me of shops in games like Call of Duty, where they sell you these small little things that don't actually fucking matter, like a single fucking dot on the screen, and they fucking sell it to you for like fucking $3, right?
of that in their official creations page for Starfield. And some of the stuff is free, but you got this right here, which is a quest that costs $7 for you to be able to play. And if you complete the quest, you get some new equipment, some new weapons and stuff. But $7 for a very bite-sized piece of quest. You know, like a lot of companies would give something like this out for free as a free update. You've got some new interior decorations for your ship for $10, and you got
they would either put all this out, this entire thing out as like a free update, or they would just add it on to the DLC. One of the two, but that's exactly what they would do.
Plushies that you got to decorate with for $3. It just doesn't feel worth the money. It all feels way overpriced, not to mention the notion of normalizing this sort of monetization system of locking individual quests behind a paywall. That's just something that nobody wants to see succeed, because other companies might get ideas from that. And so that's why there's been enough backlash where...
here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Other companies want them to succeed. They want them to succeed so that way they can put it into their games and they can start copying them and doing exactly what someone else is doing. That's exactly how all the entire video game industry works. If you look at anything that's ever come out that's been popular or been very widely successful, immediately following it, it's just been copied by imitators, just massively. If you don't believe me, look at PUBG. PUBG came out, it was wildly successful, and now you have things like Fortnite. Or sorry, not PUBG, DayZ. Now you have, and from DayZ spawned things like PUBG, like Fortnite, etc. Another thing that came out with it was another example of this is the Souls series, where Demon Souls came out, Dark Souls came out. These games were hugely successful and wildly popular, and look at all of the Souls clones that have come out. Like this isn't something that's unique to like just DLC or like any one specific thing within the gaming industry, and it's not even unique to just the gaming industry. This is something that's prevalent within society as a whole. When something is successful, it's imitated and copied in almost immediately.
Review score for the game dipped into mostly negative 27%.
The only time something isn't immediately copied is if it flops. If it flops, that's the only time it isn't copied. Like not Titanfall. What was that other game? Anthem. That's what it was called. I knew it started with an A, but I couldn't remember. But yeah, Anthem. Anthem was perceived to be a game that could have been absolutely amazing, and it would have been if they had actually put proper effort into it. And also didn't try to make it a live service game. But that game was awful. It was terrible, and so no one attempted to ever recreate the formula, the gameplay for it. So yeah.
2,600 reviews, and you can see right here in this...
Which, by the way, Anthem was just a ripoff of Titanfall, let's be honest.
...graph, the increase
a
in
terrible
the number
one
of people who've decided to thumbs down this game. So what's been going on since? Well, we have seen a response from Todd Howard. Mr. Matty Plays, a YouTuber who covers a lot of Xbox and Bethesda stuff, did an interview with him, and it's a cool interview, and there's a lot of cool insights in this interview. Be sure to check out the whole thing. But among the questions that were addressed was regarding the backlash of paid mods, and Todd Howard had the following to say. This was quoted by IGN just to make it easier to kind of translate in this video. It reads right here: "We hear that feedback too in regards to the criticism as far as Bethesda's pricing for creations content goes. First of all, I'll say that stuff gets priced based on things that we have done before, both in Creation Club and then Fallout 76.
That's a key one. Fallout 76, based off things they did in Fallout 76. Another game that was absolutely fucking god-awful, terrible dog shit, is still god-awful, terrible dog shit. And no one has ever attempted to replicate this
But the thing
And
is,
no one ever will.
neither Creation Club and paid mods in the past, nor Fallout 76's monetization tactics and pricing have been well received. So the fact that the current pricing is being based off of that
fucking awful.
doesn't do this new model, or this model that copies the previous model, any favors. It feels like they've learned nothing. They've not adjusted anything. They're just trying to replicate what came before. And that's just going to generate backlash because people didn't like what they did before. He continues, and we're always trying to be looking at what else is out there, really make sure we're giving value to everybody. And where we're not, hey, we definitely will adjust. Now,
So, I hate these words. I hate these words that Todd uses right here. Is that, we're always trying to look at what, blah, 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 and give everyone value. And, where we fail, we adjust. Like, I don't... No! Like, this... I'm tired of AAA companies saying this and getting away with it. I'm really fucking sick and tired of this shit. Because... Oh my god. Larian Studios is... I don't give a fuck what you want to say. They are an independent studio. They are an indie developer. Okay? They publish their own games. They develop their own games. Okay? They put out Baldur's Gate 3. And they put out Divinity Original Sin. Both of those are absolute fucking bangers in the RPG space. And Baldur's Gate 3 is the fucking gold standard for RPGs nowadays. Satisfying your customers comes first. Full stop. You don't get to fuck over your customers and then be like, oh, my bad, we'll adjust and make up for it in the future. No, fuck that shit. Fuck you and fuck that. Developers need to stop getting away with this horse shit. They've been adjusting for the past fucking 10, 15 years of my life. I am now 34 years old. Okay? 34. I have been playing video games since the fucking Atari. Okay? I've been playing video games since their inception. Developers, way back before you could fucking add in patches and shit, they would put out games and they would succeed or fail on the merits of what that game was when it was put out. If they put out a trash, garbage, fucking dog shit product like Fallout 76, the fucking entire studio shuttered. Because it flopped that hard and no one bought any of their future games. That studio was fucked if they put out a dog water dog shit game. Okay. Nowadays, companies can just fucking put out a patch and be like, oh look, it's better now. Now it's what we promised. Like fucking No Man's Sky. I'm sorry, I will never buy or touch a single product from that developer. Ever. Literally ever. I don't give a fuck what he has done. I don't give a fuck what he does in the future. His game came out as dog water, fucking trash shit, fucking pile of garbage. And it always will be that. I don't care what he's fucking done to the game. It didn't release with the features that he promised. Fallout 76 didn't release with the features it promised. It didn't even fucking release the goddamn pre-order bonuses that they promised. Like, these developers need to stop getting away with this horse shit. Like, no, if they say shit like this, like, nah, dog, you've had fucking 10 plus years to get this shit right. You don't get a fucking 30th chance. You don't get a second chance.
Now, I'd love to believe
this shit pisses me off so much.
I would bet you that
I fucking hate it.
Weeks, months down the line, when we look at the Creations Hub here, this is going to remain the same price. This is still going to be $700 premium.
No, it'll go up. It'll go up, and then they'll put it on discount back down to $700 and be like, oh, look, the price is going down.
Currency, which, by the way,
that's what they always fucking do.
You have to spend $10 on because you can only get currency packages that are not exactly what you need for certain purposes.
And here's the thing. This is another thing that's not fucking new to the industry. This has been done for fucking a decade now. Ever since fucking mobile games became a thing. Like, This scummy pricing model isn't anything new, and yet people just fucking eat it up. Like, this is why the gaming industry is fucking shit. This is why it's dog shit. This is why all the fucking games coming out recently are fucking dog shit.
Purchases, but for this purchase, for example, you need to get the $10 package to get 1,000 that you can then.
Like, here, I'm gonna pull up my Steam library because I want to talk about this for a second and because of how fucking dog shit all this is. Okay. So this is my library. Okay. This is my library. I've got a lot of games here. Some of these games are better than others, obviously. Right? And I've got a lot of them, right? Like, I've got a lot of fucking games. I've got like over 100 games or some shit. Yeah, almost 300 games, right? But here's the thing, right? Okay. So, Shin Megami Tensei 5, absolutely fucking banger game. Right? First Dwarf, this is the demo that just came out. Absolutely banger game. Ashen Empires. This game came out in the fucking 90s. It's still going. It's still amazing. The developers, while significantly smaller now, and while they are volunteers, are all absolutely amazing banger gigachads that communicate with their community, actively engage with them, keep them up to date on the development of this game and everything. And their fucking store. Hang on, let me. I gotta pull this game up and I gotta show you its store. Alright, so this is the game. As you can see, it is very old. Again, this game came out in the 90s. Here is their store. Okay. Now, I have all of their expansions. Every single one. And you can get all of them for 400 store tokens. Now, how much is 400 tokens? Well, 100 tokens is $5. 200 tokens is $10. That means for $20, you can get all of their expansions. And their expansions are fucking massive. Like, we're talking they add dozens and dozens, like probably 30, 40 plus hours each in content that they provide, in just various quests and other shit that you can do. Bosses, everything, right? This is for each and every fucking one, outside of construction, which just adds player housing, but this is also an enormous amount of fucking content and whatnot that you can get. And by the way, these are each standalone expansions outside of construction, right? So if you want just Tides of Fate, you can buy just Tides of Fate. If you want just Sands of Creation, you can buy just Sands of Creation. If you want just Talazar's Revenge, you can buy just Talazar's Revenge. The construction is the only thing you need another one for, and that's Sands of Fate, or Sands of Creation. That's it. Now, they're VIP. I am a VIP, okay? I have a 6-month VIP right now. This is 660 tokens, okay? How much is 660 tokens? Well, let's go back to the store, right? So, 500 tokens, which is almost all of this, is just $25. Okay, so if we do this and then this, that's $30 for 600 tokens. Now, if you do this one more time, that's $35 for 700 tokens. That means you're going to have 40 left over, yes, but $40 and you get 6 months of a subscription. You want it now, like, if you don't understand how good this deal is, here, let me oh boy. Okay, so over here, right, you got a 12-month offer, 6-month offer, 3-month, and a 4-month. So their 6-month offer is $13 a month, right? So if we pull up this, that's 13 times 6. That's almost twice the price for the exact same amount of time. And that's for World of Warcraft. Like, they're $15 a month. Ashen Empires, for 1 month, is 120 tokens. That's just over $5 a month. Like, that is insane value. Okay? on top of that, you have other things that you can get, like these Berserker packs. These give you a massive attack speed increase for like 30 seconds. This is huge, and it comes with 10 of them. That's 30 tokens. A personal power hour, 25% boost to your XP gain that stacks with the server power hours. By the way, yeah, the players, there are altars that players can go to. They can offer up items and gold up to a certain value, which then activates a server-wide experience boost for everyone. Everyone just gets a boost to experience. They have this for the spawn rate as well, and they have this even for item drop rate. Okay, and this just affects the entire server. This affects everyone. Okay, and just a few people have to do this, and it's not like it's insanely expensive. Okay. Now, because this is an old game, when you die, your body drops, and you drop what's in your inventory. So you have things like Summon Corpse. Now, this is more useful on, like, PvP servers, or on the PvP server. But, yeah, you've got things like a Henchman, which just gives you a dude that'll help you fight for 6 hours. I believe blueprints are recent. You've got this. Again, 60 tokens. This is 40 tokens. I have 13 of them. By the way, the reason I have 13 of them is because the developers give out monthly grab bags to all the VIPs where they just give you a bunch of free shit from the store. Like, they very commonly just give out, like, 3 Berserker packs, 5 event tickets, a couple power hours, some Summon Corpses, a Henchman. That's why I have these Henchmen. I didn't buy them. By the way, 10 tokens for 6 hours. That's huge. These things are very, very powerful. Restore durability. Greater. Like, all of these things are absolutely amazing value. This chest of holding. This is a chest of holding, by the way. Enormous amount of space for fucking 50 tokens. For $2.50. That's huge. And you just have this always. You can put this in your bank and give yourself more bank space. It's insane. You can get a fucking personal banker for 250 tokens. And again, as a reminder, that's fucking like $12. And you get a personal banker for your guild hall. That's insane. Okay? And you go over here, you can reset all of your skills. Or all of your advanced skills, sorry. Which are, if I can remember what the hotkey is for it. Hang on. Here they are. These are advanced skills, which you came with the Sense of Creation, where once you hit max level, which is 110, you can just dump all of the XP that you're getting, so that way you're not wasting any of it, into your feats, and then suddenly you have a whole bunch of extra things. Like first aid, for example. You get this, which just increases the amount of healing you get from your first aid by 5% per level. Like, that is huge, and there's a whole bunch of them. There's a ton of them, right? This game has an enormous amount of content. All of this shit is extremely fucking cheap when you look at it. Like, this was the very first cash shop that I ever saw in a video game, and to this day remains the single greatest cash shop ever released in any video game ever. Because it's not scummy. It doesn't do this bullshit pricing model. It's basically fucking not even 1 for 1. It's like 1 for 2. Because $5 gets you fucking 100 goddamn tokens. It's insane. It's insane, the value. And yeah, it's just insane. And like this shit started ever since the fucking mobile marketing, mobile gaming market. And yeah. It's fucking god-awful.
That's kind of another aspect of this monetization where
By the way, go play Ashen Empires. It's an amazing game. I promise you, you'll love it. If you don't love it, come back to this video, comment down below, let me know that you didn't love it and why.
Inability to spend exactly how much money you need, the fact that you have to spend a little more because of the way the premium currency is packaged, that's another egregious element that they've decided to replicate from the past. So I'd love to believe when he says that we will
It's not from the past. It's still going on. This is still a current thing.
Definitely adjust, but I just don't get the sense that will happen. I feel like, Todd Howard is saying what he needs to say when he's being asked a question like this to ensure that further backlash isn't activated, if you will. But down the line, it's like we'll have to hold you to it, and we'll have to see if such adjustments will be made if in the future when you release a quest that's locked behind a paywall, which shouldn't even be a thing at all. If that stuff will be significantly cheaper, like $7 for a single bite-sized quest is ridiculous.
And see, this is how they get you. This is why DLC has become so prevalent. Is because, like, oh, well, we'll wait and see. Oh, well, it's not that bad. And we've been fucking retarded. We've been actually just fucking retarded about it. It's never going to get better. It's just going to get worse. You know what they're going to do? Here's what they're going to do, okay? The next one they're going to release for twice the price. And then people are going to get really upset about that and be like, why is this so expensive when this one was only $700, right? So then they'll release a couple more at just $700 or whatever, right? Then they'll release another one that's even higher, right? And they'll be like, wow, they released another one that's so high, blah, blah, blah. Man, the one that they released before that was high still wasn't even this high. And then they'll be like, oh, well, see, so now you're like, oh, well, that one wasn't so bad. So then they release it at that other price. And now the other price is normalized. And now they do that for a little bit. And then they jack up the price again, and the cycle repeats and repeats and repeats and repeats and repeats again and again and again and again and again. That's why we have $70 fucking garbage triple A games nowadays. That is why. Because that cycle repeats again and again, and we just fucking eat it up, and we do nothing to try and stop it. We don't speak with our wallets. We don't just stop buying their games and shutter that studio. By the way, Ubisoft, EA, trying to think of other major ones. Anyway, I can't think of any. But my point is studios like those that have a proven track record of just fucking over their consumers, their studios should have been shuttered a long time ago. I'll fucking say it. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what legacy they had. When they started releasing trash products, their studios should have been shuttered.
Paid quests at all.
I'm just saying.
Ridiculous. But
we wouldn't be in the spot.
Sense in the future, or is it still going to be a?
We wouldn't be in the spot that we are with the AAA studio if those studios had been shuttered when they started releasing garbage products. You can fucking hate me if you want, but I'm right.
Couple bucks, which is way too overpriced for what you get there. So I just,
I've looked through the Creation Club. Literally nothing in the Creation Club is worth a single dollar.
I don't get the sense that
not a single
words
thing
here will reflect what we'll see down the line, or at least they won't backpedal enough in terms of pricing and the pricing model of paid mods for this game. He continues, the one thing I want to say on the Trackers Alliance, that was really an attempt to something we did in Creation Club where we would say, hey, you get this special outfit and you get this special weapon. We wanted to put them together and then thought, let's go the extra mile and wrap those around.
You know what they should have done with the Creation Club? They should have contacted mod authors, people who already had mods, and told them, hey, we want to offer you an official route to be able to create mods for this game. We're willing to give you a modding toolkit that will let you very easily mod the game in almost any way you desire. And you can put your mods up on our creation store or on any other website or whatever, but you can put them up on our store, and we will allow you to ask for money for them as long as they're available for free somewhere else. And if people want to, they can buy your product. And in exchange for this, we want, I don't know, like we'll say a 60-40 cut, right? Where they get 60% and you get 40%. I think, well, or other way around, where you get 60% and they get 40%. Right, I think that would have been fine because the mods would still be offered for free. However, it gives them an official way to support themselves. It gives them an official modding toolkit. It allows them to create better mods for the community, and it allows the community to offer an official way to support their favorite developer, as well as support Bethesda in a small way for them offering this kind of thing. I think that would be a perfectly suitable and a perfectly valid way for them to have gone about the Creation Club. And I think if they had done that, they would have had an enormous amount of customer sentiment and goodwill towards them gained. I think they would have earned an enormous amount.
A quest. I feel like that actually makes it worse because then we know that the original idea was to charge $7 just for the special outfit and the special weapon. So originally, the $7 was going to include less content. It was going to be even more overpriced. With the inclusion of the quest, it still feels overpriced. And it also helps normalize the potential idea of paywalling individual quests. Even their adjusted version where they added more stuff for the 700 premium currency or the $7 that they're asking for with this package, the fact that that still feels overpriced and originally there was going to be less content for what you pay for here, I feel like the perception of that, it just isn't particularly great.
Now,
like he's trying to make this seem like a positive, like, hey, we actually gave you more than we originally intended, but even with the more you gave us, it's still like it still feels scummy. So you what you've said here is essentially it was going to be scummier before, but he does proceed by saying that we now definitely see the feedback, and that's not what we want at all in terms of, oh no, this looks like a faction that we're chopping up and then selling for 700 credits at a time.
Because you are. So, the reason why the outfit and the guns, and whatever else was that are free, the reason why these things are free on the Creation Club store is because they want customer goodwill and they want to try and lure you in. So they offer you free stuff immediately, so that way you're like, oh look, free stuff. It hits that the dopamine receptors, right? Your brain goes, ooh, oh, so good, right? And that's what they want. You want to trigger those dopamine receptors so that way you sit there and you buy. You buy more and you spend more and you give them more money.
And so I do think we are going to take a look at that and how we deliver content like that and whether we're changing pricing or breaking it up or what we should do there. So great feedback.
Or breaking it up. Or breaking it up. See, you have to pay attention to the wording. Because next time, because of the way he's worded this, of like, oh, we've given you more than what we were originally going to. Now, next time, they're going to give you less for the same price. And be like, well, this is what we were originally going to give you anyways. And so we just decided that we were going to stick to what we originally said we were going to do, and just do it that way because that's we feel like that's a better for our community and better for the customer in the long run. It provides a better value because we're actually keeping our word. That's what it's going to be. Because they added more stuff to it, and they're like, oh, look, we added more stuff to it. And then so next time they're going to be like, oh, but we're actually keeping our word. And people will eat this shit up.
And this is basically
people will fucking go wild. Like, oh, look at this! They're holding, they're keeping their word.
PR statements have been saying we're listening.
Bethesda, after the drastic fucking crap show that is Fallout 76, Bethesda studio doors, they should have been shuttered. I'll say it. And will that mean that all of the subsidiaries and all the companies under them will probably shutter too? Yeah. Yeah, they probably will. And if that happens, oh well. That's gamers' fault for letting them develop crappy products. For incentivizing them and encouraging them to develop crappy products. Stop supporting bullshit.
For so long, and it feels like they're really not in the future. They just keep trying to repeat previous mistakes in the hopes that it's more normalized now, and so it's become more acceptable, except it's not more acceptable.
No, it's not. All right. Anyways.
Acceptable. You know, people are still cautious about this kind of stuff, and when they see it, they still call it out. And so it just feels like they didn't expect this level of backlash. People. They figured, oh, this is...
There's not enough people that are calling it out. Not enough people that are actively... by the way, hilarious face, Young. There's not enough people that are actively, like, refusing. The only way we get this kind of thing to stop is if you don't just not buy their DLC or not buy their Creation Club shit, you have to just wholly stop playing all of their games. Stop giving them any attention. Stop giving them any money. Stop giving them any recognition. The only thing that you should be doing is acknowledging their scummy ass fucking behavior, and then that's it. That's the only thing that you should be doing with these companies.
Okay, now in 2024, whereas it wasn't years ago for Skyrim and Fallout, they didn't.
And you want to know why? It's because they didn't think about it. If they had thought about this back then, they would have tried it back then.
Expect that people would still remember
Skyrim,
how not okay this is.
Like, you have to remember, Skyrim is the dawn of the horse armor. Skyrim is the dawn of DLC.
And it feels like now they're saying, well, we're listening, we're definitely going to make some adjustments, but whether the adjustments are actually made in the future, I have skepticism.
They're not going to.
Around whether that will actually be.
There's nothing that's going to happen because literally nothing has happened in over 10 years.
The case, it feels like they're just going to continue pricing things overall the same, maybe backpedal a little bit, but not enough. They're still going to be inspired by the way things were with
It's
Fallout
just going to get higher
in terms of monetization, or still are with Fallout 76. And the monetization surrounding that game, where you do have to pay a premium price for the base game, and then it's monetized further the deeper you delve into the game. Like, that stuff's just putting all that into what should be a single-player focused experience with no microtransactions whatsoever. Kind of like how Cyberpunk 2077 or Baldur's Gate 3 ended up being. It just feels like, you know, they're not achieving the caliber of value and consumer friendliness that some of the more acclaimed single-player experiences have had. I
mean, I know he's probably trying to dance around it, the exact wording, because his channel's monetized and he cares about that kind of thing. Here's the thing.
They're not achieving the caliber of value and consumer.
So the whole caliber thing. Ubisoft, Bethesda, and EA can't achieve their level of quality. And the reason why is because they are too big to succeed. They are at a point where they are more beholden to shareholders than they are to their customers. And as a result, they are too big to succeed. They cannot, on their own merits, manage to perform in the way that Baldur's Gate 3 has, or in the way that Dragon's Dogma 2 has, or Shin Megami Tensei 5, or any of these other high quality games. Dave the Diver, Buckshot Roulette, God, what are some other indie games that have come out recently? I know most of you probably haven't heard of this, but Monster Sanctuary. Monster Sanctuary is an absolutely stellar game. By the way, Aethermancer, their new game, is in alpha right now. Come join the server. But yeah.
Friendliness that some of the more acclaimed single-player experiences.
He says acclaimed. What he means to say is not dog shit. AKA games that are actually good. Games that are... The level of quality from Baldur's Gate 3 is a quality that I would expect from games back in like 2006. Back during like the age of the first Mass Effect, of Dragon Age, of these kind of amazing stellar games before the advent of DLC.
Have had over the last few months and years, and given the kind of more,
or at least before like the scummy advent of DLC,
mixed reception surrounding Starfield, this is not going to do the game any favors in terms of
Starfield's shit.
Here's an article saying that they
here's the thing. You want to know why they added Creation Club to Starfield? It's because the modders gave up on the game. Yeah, they gave up on the game. Yeah, so right here, here's one where Starfield multiplayer modders give up because the game is, quote, trash. Here is another video by Yongya. Skyrim Together modders quit Starfield development because, quote, the game is boring and bland. So yeah, that's why they added Creation Club to it, is because there were no mods. And the game was so fucking decrepit and shit that they're like, oh, look, we can add more content to the game, say that we're updating the game, and just put it behind a paywall and then make money off of this dead game that no one fucking cares about or wants to play.
They go against everything a Bethesda game should be, because mods should be by fans and for fans.
The problem is that the fans don't want to mod the game.
And the second you start making this
and actually, here, let me I'm gonna pull up Nexus Mods, because that's like one of the biggest hosting websites for mods. So this is the homepage for Starfield. Now there are 392 pages. So 7,837 results for Starfield. Okay, now let's compare that to something like, say, Baldur's Gate 3 for Nexus Mods. Okay, so about 7,300, right? If we go and we look at this, there are more mods for this. Now, granted, this is it's not a lot more. I will grant that. You know. However, how old is Starfield compared to Baldur's Gate? You know what I mean? Also, a lot of these I found are like translations for like various countries, and they're not all just like all in one. Now, I'm not saying that like there's no way like 1,000 of them, right? But I'm just saying that there are some of them that are here, and there are also a lot of these like singular one mod that's just like the hair or just the eyes or something, or like just one part of one character, right? That's another thing. And that just goes to show you how much people prefer this to Starfield, where Starfield is a lot more of like big collective mods, like mods that have that do a whole bunch of things all at once.
Business venture, there's the potential for monetization exploitation.
Absolutely.
That might corrupt what is a very good thing, because it's so community and passion driven.
Oh, it's not might.
Saying that
it's not might. There's no might corrupt here. This was in fucking Fallout 4. It is going to corrupt it. It already has corrupted it. It is in existence. And it wasn't removed. Like, there's a mod for Fallout 4 that removes the Creation Club. Like,
modders shouldn't make some money off of it. I'm not saying they shouldn't, maybe kickstart some donation models and stuff like that to allow people to
absolutely
kind of show their things,
like I said,
like
I said earlier, what they should have done is just offered a like 60-40 split with mod makers, giving them an actual mod kit and be like, hey, make mods for our games and we'll give you a split of whatever your fans decide to pay you for it.
Attitude and appreciation and tip the modders and stuff like that, but making it a Bethesda controlled kind of corporate business thing. It's just
they've already done that
with
they've already done
what's happening now with pricing models that are not ideal
because they've already done it.
Including premium currency purchase models that
this isn't new. The premium currency things, this isn't new. This isn't even new for Bethesda. The Elder Scrolls Online has this shit. This isn't new even for Bethesda. Like in no way, shape, or form.
Are stacked in a way where you can't get exact currency, and just doing things that a lot of other games do that are not ideal, and that
this shit is everywhere in gaming
in a way that's not in the spirit of modding. And so that's kind of the concern. And Todd Howard's response just, they
don't care about your mods. That's the thing. In fact, honestly, if they could just rip your mods directly and not actually, here's the thing. Actually, is they could. legally speaking, they could just rip every single mod that's ever been made and then just sell it themselves. They are legally allowed to do that because that's what you agree to when you accept the terms of service and everything. Derivative work.
But I don't get the sense that he's really gonna deliver much on the whole.
No,
we're
he's
listening
not.
and making adjustments, or
They're beholden to the
company as a
stockholders,
whole.
and
I don't think they're
stockholders
really
care
gonna
nothing for you.
Make enough of an adjustment for those words to feel like they have some weight. But that's one man's take. Let me know in the comments below.
I mean, this shit doesn't surprise me at all. This is another stereotypical response from another head of another big AAA game studio. They're not AAA games. I'm sorry, they're not. Starfield is at best a single A game. It's fucking dog shit. It has no fucking actual substantive content. Its fucking story is garbage, just like Fallout 76. It's all fucking garbage. 99% of Starfield is fucking empty, nothing waste of space because, fucking Tom is like, or Todd is like, oh, it makes it more immersive. Fuck you. I don't play video games to have a fucking bland experience. I play video games to be immersed in an amazing story. Fuck you with your horse shit. Oh, it's more immersive. Fuck you. Fucking take those things. I don't want to explore barren world number 488 because it's immersive. Fuck you. Fuck you and fuck that logic. Yeah. So that's my thoughts on all of this. It's absolute fucking dog water dog shit, and the only thing that should be done with Starfield is the DLCs should have absolutely no purchases. The Creation Club should have absolutely no purchases. All of their future game sales should have absolutely no purchases, and their entire studio should fucking have to shutter. That's my thoughts. Those are my takes and my opinions. As the DM, and that's my word, and that's it. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for coming to my corner of the internet. A lot more things coming. And the next video, I'm thinking, I'm gonna take away your cheese in the next episode. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take away your cheese. See you next time.